They're in the gate. And they're off in the Coral Charge. She's Quality broke alertly, and so too up against the far side rail, Queen All-Star. But it is She's Quality who shows very good speed and already has now cleared and crossed to that far side rail. Down the centre of the course, Change Things gives chase in second, followed by Balmoral Lady. Right up there is Saratoga Special towards the far side rail, together with Queen All-Star. The second half of the field sees Kurdos racing just in advance of Adorestia. Then the big white blaze of Manakan. After Manakan is Westacre, who's been ridden along, Rumstar, and the back marker is Chagrin. They've now just got a furlong and a half to go in the Coral Charge, and it is still She's Quality, the speedball, who has got the lead over Saratoga Special. Adrestia is staying on, so too is Kurdos. Rumstar down the very wide outside. She's Quality needs the line. Rumstar is charging home, and it's Rumstar in the Coral Charge. Beats She's Quality from a long way back. Chagrin has got involved for the Miners, so too was Kurdos, and staying on very late towards the near side was Westacre. Adrestia also in the mix.
A second Group 3 of the season for the likeable Rumstar, who's inhaled the field down the outside and ultimately won very well this Coral Charge for Rob Hornby and Johnny Portman. Another big Saturday winner for Rob, who took the Northumberland Plate a week ago. Today he takes the Coral Charge. She's Quality has shown quality, she's shown pace, but she was run down, and there was a whiff of inevitability that she might be run down by something.
Yeah.
And Rumstar's all quality today.
Yeah, completely. I was the class horse in the race, given that it's the only horse in the race who had a penalty for the win in the Palace House earlier in the year. First of all, hats off to the to Andrew Cooper and the team. I think from years ago it looked a really level playing field today. You know, I was dubious about the far side, but She's Quality has shown tremendous pace down the far rail, and I think any other track, and not as stiff as it, she would have won. So I don't think she wasn't beaten by where she was racing, whereas the closers, if you like, were finishing more towards the centre. I think it was a perfectly level playing field. Rumstar has come back to his best. She's Quality emerging with a tremendous amount of credit. That's blistering pace, and this is one of the stiffer 5 furlongs there are, and he's just found her out in the end.
And the eventual winner, who is almost completely obscured, the very pale colours you can just see in third last at the moment. The eventual third who flashes home, sheepskin noseband, is last, Chagrin. So yeah, it's set up quite nicely, you'd think, for winner and third.
Yes, so even more credit, you think, for the second, who's actually burned off the other horses who were prominent and all but lasted. But yeah, Chagrin, who was completely outpaced early on, he stayed on really nicely third. The winner has been switched to the middle of the track and has come with a remorseless run that you felt was always going to get there, and in the end has run out a pretty decisive winner. Kurdos has had every chance. I thought soon on him perfectly placed, 4th or 5th place in the middle of the track. He'd come 4th or 5th, ran a bit like how sort of Dave predicts he'd run. You know, he's got on the figures, he's got a chance, but he just lacks a certain winning something.
Adressi has run pretty well first time at this sort of level. Yeah,
and Westacre has run much more like he's in Maison. The horse in red on the outside has stayed on to show a bit more. He might be interesting in the next few runs. Adressi's run well. I think she has taken a step forward. We were talking about the two horses. To be fair, on the day, Queen of All-Star found it a bit too rich for her. Adressi, after a long way, looked one of the main threats to the eventual runner-up.
But victory goes the way of Rumstar. A pretty talented horse. They thought him good enough as a 3-year-old to contest the Commonwealth Cup. He went up a huge price and ran quite well, finished 5th. And then they're starting to set their heights at that level, and he got a bit found out. And it's really sort of taken to the back end of last season, beginning of this season, for him to pick the thread up again.
Yeah, was the Palace House his second run this year? Anyway, he's in really good form at the start of the season. I thought he'd lost his way a bit. I didn't think he ran particularly well in the Temple, and he didn't run particularly well last time. But this is right back to his best, and the stiff nature of the track really suits him. He's a strong stayer out this trip. And in the end, as I say, he's actually won pretty decisively.
Oh, I was worried I was going to lose you, but we got you. Too Tempting, another great stable star. Looking for a double for you and Rob Hornby today. How hopeful are you?
Well, he's in good form. He's a course and distance winner. A lot of weight, but you know, he ran well at Royal Ascot, but it wasn't his gig. This is probably more suitable. Dare I say, I think he ought to have his say today. Yeah.
All conditions in his favour, and he's fit and well.
Yeah, very happy with him. Ground's fine. It's just Did a bit of luck, didn't you?
Which you had in the first race with Rumstar. Things didn't go his way at Royal Ascot either. How hopeful were you coming into today that he could put that behind him?
Well, we just wanted to just do something a bit different today, and just in terms of Ascot, we got into top gear a bit too early, and that just didn't work. And we knew that he was better than that. Haydock was whatever happened to Haydock, I don't know, but so we just hung on to him a bit today, which is always risky at Sandown because you never quite know who's going to get in your way here. There's always traffic problems, but Rob read the script perfectly, hung on to him, found the gap, came through, he looked good. It was our day. And with these sprinters, you know, everything has to go just right on the day, and it did.
Is there a Group 1 race that you think he could figure in?
Well, we've always quite liked the idea of a trip to Longchamp.
For the Abbey?
Yeah. Other than that, you know, probably not. Okay. You know, he's just quite hard to place now, isn't he?
But it's a high-class problem. And did I hear Rob saying that you've equalled your last year's total of winners?
Not quite.
Well, you're nearly there.
We're getting there. We've still got another 9 or so to go.
But not many.
Not many. No, it's gone well, and we're very happy about that.
And is there any reason you can think of as to why it's going so well?
I'm just obviously getting better with age. Yeah.
You were always good. You're better now. Good luck here.
Thanks, Nick.
Cheers, Johnny.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.